Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, E-Steam The Sands of Time. It's action and adventure in ancient Egypt in this terrific teen time travel romance. Get your copy of E-Steam The Sands of Time at your favorite online bookseller today. It's your boy Shawn here, and I'm doing a review video of Black Sands, the first Pharaoh. Now, I picked up the original Black Sands at the Schaumburg at the Science Fiction and Fantasy Con, and I really enjoyed the original Black Sands Ultimate Edition I picked up. So when I heard about this one coming to Kickstarter, I definitely wanted to put in my pledge. Now, I put in this pledge, I think about March or April, so it took a while to get this manga, but it was well worth the wait because Manuel Godoy and John Raymond DeBar do an amazing job here on Black Sands, the first Pharaoh, and showing us the early Egyptian gods who established the kingdom of Kemet, also known to many as ancient Egypt. And we get to see Ra, Geb, and I think Nut in this story, and he does a great job of setting up these characters and showing us why they wanted to build the nation of Kemet, and showing us why these characters cared so much about setting up this nation of Kemet. Now, the art here in Black Sands is beautiful. It reminds me a lot of Dragon Ball Z and many of the animes I used to watch, like Voltron and Battle of the Planets, which is also known as Gatchaman. And I would love to see this as an animated series itself because the art here is just so amazing. But what's even better is the story, because the story here is just incredibly compelling about these gods and how they start to lay out the foundation for the kingdom of ancient Kemet, what motivates them, and the relationships each have with each other. I mean, this is a very, very compelling story here in Black Sands, and again, the art is just absolutely amazing to look at. I mean, this is right up there with some of the best shonen jumps like Naruto and Dragon Ball and many others. And it's just well executed and well done. Art's very crisp. The storytelling is very compelling. And we get a look at ancient Egypt from the perspective of a black creator. And they're putting their own look on this book. And we get to see, again, our story told from our perspective. And that was something I really liked about the story, is that we have a black creator telling a story of ancient Egypt and showing us what it was like in that time period. Now, this was something that I did myself in my own stories with the Isis character and the Isis series, and I also did with E-Steam The Sands of Time. And I have to say that the research on this was meticulous. I mean, we get to see Ra, the first Pharaoh, and how powerful he is, but we also get to see Geb and Nut and their relationship to each other in this story, and that's something we get to see throughout this story. And we get to see things like the other lands, we get to see the Goliath and the giants of that era, and we get to see these cannibals, because there were people out in these other lands who were savage, and that was all part of the Egyptian mythology. I remember reading about that when I was doing my own research for the Isis series, and it was great to see all of that presented here, and it shows how well researched this manga is, and it's well worth the money, I have to say, to pick up any Black Sands book. But this one does a great job of establishing why the first Pharaoh established his kingdom, what motivated him to establish his kingdom, and the threats that were out there to the kingdom of Kemet. So it does a great job of opening up, introducing us to the characters, introducing us to the story, and it's a great setup for what's going to be, as I see it, a very, very, very promising series overall. I mean, this Black Sands, the first Pharaoh, I mean, this is a royal adventure, and it's one that you just don't want to miss. So if you see Black Sands, the first Pharaoh, at any Comic-Con, any manga con, if you see Manuel Godoy and John Raymond DeBard, you see them at any con, you definitely want to pick up Black Sands, the First Pharaoh. It's well worth the purchase price, and it looks like the start of, again, a very promising manga with a very compelling story, and it's one that, again, I highly recommend you get. Now, I myself, again, I created my own stories featuring the Egyptian or the Kemetic gods, and this one really does a great job of showing you how powerful these gods were, how rich their mythology is, and it shows us that mythology from a black perspective, and it shows it from a perspective that we were people who had great civilizations, great kingdoms, and I like seeing that in this manga. So this is one, again, I can highly recommend you go out here and get, because you will not be disappointed. And this is one that everybody should get for their kids, because it shows you images of heroes that look like you and I, and shows us in a positive light. So again, it's one I recommend you go out here and get, and when you go out here and share with your family. If you can find it on, I think you can find it on the Black Sands website. So if you go over there, you could probably find the First Pharaoh along with the other Black Sands books and other books that they publish on Black Sands. And if you want to pick up some of my stories featuring the Egyptian gods, like the Isis series and the Easteme series and Easteme, the Sands of Time, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.